Tyler Moss here with Hank Hanssen, junior wrestler for Wasatch High School, and fun to say division champion wrestler at Wasatch High School. Hank, thanks for taking a minute to come talk with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to talk to you guys and just share, just talk about wrestling. It's really awesome.
Hank, you've quickly become one of Tyler and I's favorite wrestlers to watch over the years. It seems like you've really found something that's clicking for you, winning the divisional tournament. How are you feeling coming into the state tournament?
Well, so grateful for you guys and the support you guys give us. I'm feeling super good. This is the highest I've been seated at a divisional tournament, and that really means a lot. The first day is going to be way easier, and I'll be able to come into the next day a lot more fresh and ready to go. Get 2 matches out of the way, go burn off some weight, and be good to wrestle the next day. So, whole different animal.
So, coming into the divisional tournament, you were wrestling up, it seemed like, a lot of matches at 157, even 165, but you decided state you wanted to drop down to 150. Do you feel like that's made a big difference? Do you like your matchups at 150 better than the state tournament as well? Or what are your thoughts with the weight class?
Coming in from a higher weight definitely gives you a lot, makes you more anonymous. People don't really know your style, don't know how you wrestle, haven't really watched you, so it's a lot newer people, new moves which affects both sides of the mat, me and the opponents. But it's a lot better. I was always giving up weight when I was wrestling up, and so it's a lot. I'm right where I need to be. This is a really comfortable weight to cut, but I'm not giving up some weight, so this is right where I want to be.
Hank, coming in number 1 in the divisional tournament, that you already mentioned, that'll give you some more favorable matchups. Are there any wrestlers in your weight class that you specifically have kind of marked that you're noticing are going to be hard guys that you'll face off in the state tournament again?
For me, my strategy mentally and how I go about wrestling is not really looking at the names. I know some guys like to obsess about who they're going to wrestle, and that really helps them, and that's great. But for me, I know that there are some good guys out there. There are great guys and respectable wrestlers from Payson, Uinta, Lehigh, around my weight. But for me, it's just going to be wrestling. We're going to go out there with a smile and just beat the crap out of whoever's there.
I like that attitude. Hank, wrestling is a sport that maybe not a lot of people are totally familiar with. A lot of kids grow up wanting to play football or basketball or baseball, but wrestling is not usually on people's radar. What got you into wrestling, and how have you become such a successful athlete in this sport?
The story's pretty funny. My brother had some serious anger issues, and my parents thought that wrestling would be a good outlet for that. And so obviously I'm not going to let my brother train to fight and beat me up, so I decided to wrestle. And that kind of became our family sport. We made it our own, and as far as my career goes, it was all about excellence, trying to not obsess about it and let it take over my life. I got school and family and my faith too, just that are major parts of my life, but I try to be excellent in everything that I do, and that really carries over in wrestling, and that's kind of been the story.
Well, you can tell there's this vibe of excellence when you go out on the mat, and it's almost like this unspoken attitude. You don't have to say what you're expecting. People can see it when you go out there on the mat, and it's just visible on the way you go about it, Hank. Now, I want to switch gears just a little bit here on you. Wrestling is tough, too, because you've got to be a little more disciplined than other sports in the fact that you've got to meet a certain weight class. It doesn't matter in football or basketball if you're gaining weight or losing weight, but in wrestling it does. So what do you have to do to stay in a weight class? I mean, it's a lot to go from, say, 165 down to 150. Have you had to cut out some favorite meals? Are there things you're missing, working out harder? What's that like?
Oh, man, I love me some pizza, some ice cream, Dairy Queen, just all of the above. I love sugar, but for me, it's a lot about clean eating. So I try not to fluctuate my weight too much during the season, so it's not 10-pound, 15-pound swings. It's a lot of just slowly eating really clean when I'm in wrestling season, being intentional about how much I eat, and making sure that what's going into my body is healthy and nutritious, and then seeing where I end up. So that was the strategy this year, and as practices got harder, kept eating clean and slowly started shaving off that extra fat, and so that's how I ended up at 50. But that's the strategy. I have an amazing mom who is an incredible cook, and cooks us some really healthy stuff. So it's a lot easier for me than I'd say other people.
All right, that sounds like good stuff that'll work for you your whole life, not just during high school. But is it safe to say pizza? Is that what you're missing the most then? You mentioned pizza, or is there a food that you wish you could have more than anything right now?
Pizza, ice cream, candy. I'm a snacker. I love snacks.
So after the state tournament, is it like you go to a pizza factory and just binge? Is that the plan?
My mom's making homemade pizza, and we're going right to Dairy King.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Okay, a couple questions. I know it's a busy day for you, but we'll get you out of here on just a few final questions. This is head coach Wade Disher's farewell season. A legend in the high school world. He's got over 10 state championships. and just a great coach. Has there been a conversation amongst the wrestlers about this being Coach Disher's farewell season? And if so, what are they talking about?
The general consensus is that we are so thankful for him and the legacy he's left, and just how amazing of a coach he is. He has said that this is his time to retire, and we all support that decision. We're going to miss him dearly, and the program is not going to be the same without him, but it is. We have some amazing coaches that are stepping up, and we have a great program, a great feeding program, some really good wrestlers. So my brothers are coming up. It's going to be a really fun time. So amazing prospects, but definitely going to miss our amazing Coach Disher.
All right, Hank, we'll get you out of here on this question. Wrestling in a venue like this, it's a huge stadium. There are people everywhere watching you. It's got to be a pretty incredible experience. Can you help us understand what it's like being a wrestler out there on the mat when all eyes are on you and you're all by yourself? It's you versus your opponent. What's it like wrestling in a tournament like this?
Well, it's different for most people. It's different for every single person. But a lot of the tournaments Wasatch goes to is their national tournaments. So these two tournaments are some of the smallest tournaments we've been to this year. And so the coaches try to condition us not only physically but mentally. Wrestling on big stages nationally really helps prepare us for these tournaments that mean more but are smaller. So we've wrestled under the big lights. We know how it goes. And so a lot of just conditioning of the mind. But it's fun. You got some amazing supportive family members and fans and people talking about us on the radio. You just feed off that, and it gets really exciting and really fun. So
this is junior wrestler Hank Hanssen, and if you're not familiar with that name, you want to get used to it. Hank, the number one seed coming in the state tournament as a junior, and certainly a wrestler that people will be aware of once the state tournament is over this year. Hank, thanks so much for taking the time to come talk to us, and best of luck in the tournament.